All right, at this time, we'll go ahead and take an opening comment from Coach Day representing Ohio State. Go ahead, Coach.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Gary, the board, everybody at the Peach Bowl. Honor for us to come down. Be my first time being at the Peach Bowl, and we're really excited about heading to Atlanta for a week, and tremendous amount of respect for Kirby and his staff and team and what they've done here, and really certainly winning last year and then going undefeated this season, playing at a high level. Congrats on winning the SEC championship. And I can just tell you that, our team is very excited to be in this position, to be in the CFP. It's been an emotional week here, but, in our facility today, to see our name pop up there, a lot of juice, a lot of energy. And, we're looking for a great month of preparation and a great week down in Atlanta.
This is for both coaches. I know the portal's opening, quote unquote, tomorrow. How are you all handling the balance of that not being a distraction over the next few weeks versus, you don't want to fall behind in that process?
All right, let's start with Coach Day, please.
Well, certainly this is a unprecedented time in college football with the portal and all that going on, and there's a lot of dynamics at play with that. But I think our culture is such that there's a lot of guys on our team that want to be Buckeyes moving forward. So we have those conversations and try to do the best we can to make sure that we're recruiting great high school players and developing them and keeping them in the program. That being said, there's going to be situations that occur where guys feel like maybe they have an opportunity to go play more at another school, and we understand that. It's something that certainly wasn't the case very long ago, but it's become a reality. And so I think communication is the most important thing, but we still focus most of our time on recruiting high school players and develop them while they're here.
This question for Ryan Day. Ryan, obviously a big whirlwind of emotions for your locker room over the last week, and now a chance for you guys to rewrite your season and rewrite a lot of these guys' legacy, like CJ Stroud. How important it is for you guys to get that chance and not only stay focused just in the task in hand and not necessarily look forward to a potential rematch against Michigan?
Well, first off, you're playing the defending national championships, in their backyard, national champions in their backyard. So, it's going to take everything we have to go on a road to go win this game. And, I just think that we wanted to be in this situation, the CFP, at the end of the year. It took a different road to get here, but we're here. And so now, we've got to just do an unbelievable job this month of preparing and maximizing every day. And that's, in the end, what's going to happen. It's going to be a great matchup. I got so much respect for, what they do in all three phases. And so, coaches, players, staff members, we just got to do everything we can to, again, maximize this month and get ready to play a really hard fought game on the 31st. So that's where our focus is going. How we got here at this point, I guess, doesn't really matter. Now that we're here, it's time to go play.
For Coach Day, just wondering, how much as you sit here today, do you truly know about Georgia? Has there been any kind of cram yet, or is there plenty of time for that? And can you, for those of us that haven't followed you, super close, know that you maybe didn't have everybody at your disposal in the Michigan game that you will have in this game. So can you talk about those two elements?
Yeah, we, like Kirby said, we always look at Georgia and look at how they do things in the off season, sometimes during the season. So to say that, we're knee deep in a game plan, I can't tell you that. We watch them from afar, and they have very, very good players and a good scheme. Certainly, on offense, Stetson does a great job in all areas. Got a lot of respect for the way he plays, and certainly they put a lot of stress on you with multiple tight ends and really good offensive line and skill players on the outside, and then on defense, excellent scheme and really good players across the board. So, we're not that far into it, but at the same time, the focus has got to be here in the next couple of weeks of working on fundamentals, but start getting going with the game plan and put all that stuff together, because they challenge you in all three phases. During this time, it's going to be great to get guys healthy. We really have been fighting that a little bit, but we've also developed some depth in certain areas too, which is important. So I think if we can push forward and get to just about 100% here in terms of our health, that gives us the best chance on the 31st.
Yeah, hey, if I may, I'd like to ask each coach a question. Ryan, first off, starting with you, you just mentioned this is basically a home game for Georgia. Last year, unfortunately, Buckeye Nation didn't seem overly eager to want to make the trip out to Pasadena. So how important is it for Buckeye Nation to be willing to make the trip down to Atlanta? And then for you, Kirby, you just played there last night and you're going to be returning less than a month later, and you've played there a handful of times before. So does this feel kind of like a home game for you guys? And is there a certain comfort level in returning to a place that's a little more than an hour away?
Hey, excited to play and what a great venue. It's going to be an electric atmosphere, and looking forward to playing in it. Certainly, I know that it's kind of in Georgia's backyard, but what an unbelievable opportunity for us to go down there and play in an electric atmosphere. So, when you get to this point of the season, this is what you're going to do. You're going to be in these type of environments. And, if you said at the beginning of the year, you got a chance to be in the CFP and play in Atlanta against Georgia down there, defending national champs, of course, you cut off your right arm for this opportunity. So we'll do everything we can to prepare to play our best football.
Hey, this is for Kirby and for Coach Day. I mean, I know that this next 3-4 weeks is good to help get guys healthy again, but what kind of challenges can it present as well when it comes to kind of finding the balance between practice and days off and making sure your guys don't cool off too much going into this playoff game?
Well, I think going through this before, certainly I think Kirby would agree, first couple times you do it, you learn and you grow and you try to find that right balance that you're talking about of, working on fundamentals, keeping your edge, but then also game planning and making sure that the guys are fresh and ready to roll for the game. And the more you do it, I think the more prepared you are. You learn every week or every year. You evaluate in the off season. How'd you do? What was the preparation like? Every year is a little bit different because of the recruiting calendar, where you play. How does Christmas fall into these type of things? And the COVID year. I mean, every year has its own set of circumstances, and you do the best you can to find that balance. But having been in these situations before, you take your past experiences and you try to do the best you can to make sure your team's playing at a maximum strength on the 31st.
Yeah, this is for both coaches. Brian, you touched on this earlier, and Kirby, you obviously mentioned how you guys don't take any players to the transfer portal. Why is it important for your programs to continue to build through the high school ranks and recruit guys and try and develop them over the course of multiple years, as opposed to just getting portal guys for 1, maybe 2 seasons max?
Sure. Well, I think it has to do with your culture. I think there's nothing more important than the culture of your team and all the work that gets done in the off season, in the weight room, spring practice in the summers. And that's how you build your program, is through culture. And that's a shared behavior through the leaders. And when you start to move those pieces around every year, it becomes harder and harder to maintain that. And so through the recruiting process, you want to identify those that we think fit the culture best. Certainly you want to identify talent. That's important. But as the head coach, I think it's important to make sure you bring the right people that fit what you do. And when you're taking guys in from the portal, not that they can't be a fit, we added guys we felt like they were good fits and it did work out. But there's a lot of dynamics at play there. And when you have a lot of pride in programs, I'm sure just like Kirby would say at Georgia, it's the same thing here at Ohio State. It's hard to just walk in and then demand playing time. And most people in the portal are coming into play right away. And so, I just think that's why it's important to make sure that you're really careful about who you bring into your program.
For Coach Day, talking about culture and program, you had a pretty important transfer from Georgia named Justin Fields. Can you talk about how he fit into your culture and how important it was for you to get Justin Fields from Georgia as you were building Ohio State?
Yeah, I mean, it goes without saying. He obviously was unbelievable here and, had a major impact here. I have so much respect for the way that, Kirby handled that, because Justin had nothing but unbelievable things to say about his staff and Kirby on the way out. And those are not easy situations. They just aren't. We've all been through it. We went through the same thing with Joe Burrow and Jamison Williams. I mean, this is kind of the way things have gone here in college football. And, the way that everybody handled it was with class. But Justin had just an amazing impact here. He's doing a really good job in the NFL now, and I'm glad to see him have his success, but he certainly left a legacy here.